Hello, fight fans, and welcome to the Combat Challenge podcast. My guest today is a welterweight athlete who has competed on the prestigious Cagewarriors promotion. His professional record is 8 wins with only 2 defeats. His amateur record is 9 wins with only 1 defeat. Mr. Madars, the Latvian Express Fleminas. Nice to see you, my brother. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, mate. That was good.
My brother, the first thing I've got to ask you, the name Latvian Express, where did that come about?
Yeah, the Latvian Express, I got from my coach, James Bateman. I was starting training with him, training together like six years ago. And from beginning, there was like, basically, I think I'm a good fighter because I was doing a boxing and kickboxing. And when I step in a MMA gym, I just get my ass beat, and he's proper beating me up. And because I never stop, just keep standing up, keep carry on, keep going all the time, and then just get battered. And that's how you say you like express and kind of never get tired and just keep going forward. So that's how it stuck with me for all these 6 years.
And do you think it's the name that suits your fighting style?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely suits my fighting style. In all amateur fights, I just basically steaming forward and steaming all my opponents. Obviously, professional. I start the same way. And then when you come to the bigger promotions, the oppositions get a lot harder. So wasn't that easy anymore, steaming everybody over. So, but yeah, I still keep the same mindset. Just keep forward pressure, just keep going and keep going. Just empty your gas tank and just keep going forward like a steam train.
Well, it works for you, my brother, and that shows in the result of your record in both as an amateur and a professional, right?
Exactly.
If we can talk a little bit about your martial arts journey, not just MMA, but any sort of disciplines you've been into. If you can talk to us from a young age, what sort of disciplines you got into and how you ended up where you are now.
It's like, how to say, the place where I come from Latvia, the fighting on weekends. It was just a normal thing, and I try karate. I think when I was class 7 for 1 year, didn't like it, but yeah, fight a lot on obviously on the streets, but not to be proud. But when I come to England, I start training boxing and kickboxing same time. Always, I was competing in a boxing and kickboxing. I find it boring, and yeah, I was still training kickboxing when I get offered fight my first MMA fight, amateur. So I didn't have any ground game, so I did my first amateur fight without any ground game, and the guy just was keep taking me down and nearly break my arm body. And that's where I get hooked with MMA because I think I need to learn the ground game. I need to learn the wrestling so I can compete with them guys, because that's, for me, that was very interesting martial arts. And when I did the boxing and kickboxing, I always was a big fan of MMA anyway. I was watching all Emeliankos and everybody. And when I did the boxing and kickboxing, the main thing in my mindset was one day I'm going to try MMA. So when I tried the MMA in amateur, I lost the first fight. It's putting me like firing, to get learning, to get better. So yeah, and so then I find my coach, James, who's obviously, who was already, I think, on Ultimate Fighter season 9, before. So I start learning from him. And yeah, and he's put about 10 months in me. And then we just steamroll all amateur ranks. I was number 1 in UK and Ireland, so, and there wasn't any amateur who wants fight me because it was hard to get matched, we try loads of promotions, and they like I end up my last amateur fight I fighting journeyman. So there's no point of that kind of fighting, so we choose to go professional. So that's all my martial art experience.
And your boxing and kickboxing, where did you do that? And how many competitions did you have in that discipline?
I did traditional kickboxing. That's like no low kicks, just kicks up about the waist. I think, yeah, on the top. So I did about seven kickboxing fights. I win 6 of them. I think I did a six or seven boxing fights. I know I lost one as well. But all the kickboxing and boxing lost. They always both was split decisions. So that was very close matches. And I did, I think, 2 or 3 K1 fights. I won them all. So it was good, but it's something missing, like I like that you can kind of going wild. I like my style because it's like kind of wild style. And the boxing and kickboxing, you need to be compact. You need to be technically like in MMA. If you can be technically wild, you can be a good fighter. So that's what I did.
For sure, brother, for sure. Now, James Bateman, am I right in thinking, did he fight on 10th Legion years ago?
Yeah, he was champion there as well. Before it was, before his get to Ultimate Fighters, I think. Because he's one of the veterans in UK as well. It's like long time fighting. I think the Legions was one of the first promotion in UK anyway.
Yeah, I remember that because it was under Alan Orr, who was doing the 10th Legion. Alan's now, I think he's in New Zealand now. Although this Saturday, I've got a podcast with Alan, so that'll be interesting because he had that promotion at 10th Legion. And I remember when I was there, I was doing some photography for 10th Legion. So I think that's where I saw James Bateman fight there. And he won the championship, didn't he?
Yeah, it was good. He's good. He was really, really good coach. And yeah, but yeah, me and James now split the roads. He's doing his things and I'm doing my things. So I got to move out a little bit from Grimsby to get better training partners, to get better training. So yeah, because he's here in Grimsby where James was training, there wasn't that much training partners what I need for the level of competition what I'm doing now.
Yeah, for sure. And what was the gym called that James was teaching under?
He was, I think it still is Bateman MMA. So yeah, I was represent that gym for a while.
Sure. And which gym do you train under now?
And now I represent 2 gyms. I represent gym in Lincoln, is Lockdown MMA with Glenn Wright, like a head coach. And then I represent 4 Dimension in Nottingham, where is Wayne Kirk is my one of the coaches.
Your last fight was on Cagewarriors 118 against Mick Stanton. Can you talk us through what you knew about Mick? What was your preparation? And then talk us through the fight.
Preparation for Mick was obviously we was watching his video. It was heavy wrestling. Always like last couple fights at least he was like just trying go for takedowns and holding down and basically doing not a lot, but winning the fights by wrestling. So the main thing was just improve my wrestling, but because of previous fights, me and my coach from Lincoln, we was thinking I need to be more patient. So we was working on a lot of feints and be more patient before we choose to attack, because my style is always just as soon as this fight starts, you start fighting. There is no patience, just go forward, and it's cost me a couple fights. So that's why we choose a little bit be patient. And yeah, so that was the main game plan, was be patient in the first round. If Mick wanna wrestle with me, I'm gonna wrestle, because I got one of the best wrestling coaches for that fight camp. I got Lubo Kumbaro. I was training with him. He's one of the best, I think 5 times world some competition winner. He's really, really good. So he's helped me, and that shows in the Mick fight as well. In the second round, when Mick's wanna wrestle me, he just can't do nothing. I was out wrestle him and get on the top, and so we stick to the stand up in the third round as well. So it was good and winning on points. So when I watch it back, it looked like, for me, it looked like I win every round. So I was very proud that all because of all the work what coaches put in and the game plan, what is when I stick on it, it was working. So that's a good thing.
Sure. Thank you for sharing that with us, brother. Now, that was your last fight. Your next fight is in a couple of days' time on the 19th of March, which will take place at Cagewarriors 121 at York Hall, London, and it's against Jack Skinny Power Grant. Tell me what you know about Jack and what do you think the fight's going to play out as?
Obviously, I know Jack well a lot because we're both from same place, from Grimsby. So when they called me and offered the fight, I was thinking about it, but then I realized obviously Jack's accept the fight, so I take the fight as well because end of the day is a fight journey, and this will be one of the fights that I probably will remember when I'm gonna be older, because two guys from the Grimsby cross each other in a cage in one of the biggest promotions in Europe. That's pretty cool story to tell your kids as well, you know. And when I come to England, actually, yeah, I didn't even train. Jax already was professional. So for me, in the 3 years when I'm professional, fight guy who is already 10 years professional nearly. So it's like big achievement. But maybe people think there is nothing to lose for me, but I got different mindsets. I go into the tournament to win the belt. So I don't want to predict the fights. It's not any more popular to say I'm gonna knock him out in the first or knock him out in the second, like most of the people's doing. It's gonna be fight, and I promise I'm gonna bring the fight on next week on the 19th. So.
And is it for a championship belt?
It's a semi-final.
Wow. Okay.
It's a tournament. So me and Jack fighting for the chance fight for title. So there is another pair. So winner of them two pairs will fight in June for the welterweight title. So it's a pretty big fight.
And who are the other two people that are in the tournament?
Is Ian Gary and Ahmad Omar, some guy from Sweden. So I can't remember the real name.
Cool, yeah. And when you mentioned about Jack, so did you end up ever training with Jack because you're from Grimsby, or did your paths not cross?
No, I think we once about 6 years ago, we was light sparring. That means nothing. That was 6 years ago. And a couple of times Jack's have a gym here. So I was going to Jack's gym, do some grappling rounds, you know. So, and obviously Jack is a wizard on the ground, so he's a world-class grappler. So that's the part what I need to take care as well, you know. We'll look forward to not let him submit me. So it's all good.
Well, it's like you said, man, you know, you've been competing 3 years. He's been competing for a decade, and he's had like 22 professional fights under his belt. So he's got loads of experience, right?
So what's the telling about me to take in a fight? There's no easy fights in Cagewarriors. You just go and fight. And for me, if I can't beat the Jack, what's the point to go to UFC? Well, one thing. If I can't beat anybody else, what's the point to go to UFC? If you want to do something, you do, and that's my mindset. I never say no to the fights. And there was offered to Jack's fight. And hopefully after the fight, we're gonna shake each other's hands and keep moving forward in our futures.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I did a podcast with Jack last week. A very nice, pleasant guy. No drama with him. He said some pleasant things about you. So, like yourself, you're both sports people, aren't you? And once the fight finishes, you'll shake hands and talk about the fight itself.
Exactly.
Now, along your martial arts journey, I'm sure you've had loads of different coaches. Is there any coaches or mentors that have played a significant role in your martial arts journey? And if so, who are they and what role did they play?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the biggest roles is played James Bateman because of the hard work and the way he was training me. It was awful, you know, like very like not awful in a good ways, you know. It's made me realize how far you can go only if you put the work in, and I always will be thankful to him for that, you know. And now in my life, I look on things totally different than before I step in a gym with James, you know. So yeah, I definitely, that's one of the guys who I'll be always thankful for all the work what he put in me.
Is there any other coaches or mentors you'd like to mention?
Yeah, of course. You can mention everyone because like every coach gives something to you, you know. Um, Glenn. I got Glenn in Lincoln is super. Our mindsets is similar. Our thinking is same, and it's so easy to work with a guy who's thinking basically same as you. Same like obviously, I want to say one of the biggest mentors is probably my primary school sport teacher because the athleticism what she gives to me, because I step in the gym, I pretty much got God-given cardio, you know, and not like I need train very hard my cardio, and that's definitely from my primary school because the sport lessons what we did was hard enough to keep me fit all my life, you know. So, and when I started martial arts, so yeah, there is the coaches and mentors what I'm really thankful for.
This is a question that I ask quite a few athletes is, do they have any sort of ritual or preparation, you know, on fight day that they do that's part of their routine? Do you have any sort of rituals? And if so, can you share any of with us?
It was good before lockdown, you know, like when it wasn't lockdowns and things, and all barbershops was open. So I got my ritual when you wake up and you need cut the weight, you go to barber, you got your shave, and now you need to do by yourself because no barber's open. That's hit me out from my routine, and yeah, it basically same. You do the weight, you get loads of food, you're resting. I like a little bit meditate as well myself, you know, so I get myself in the present, not living back or don't think too much forward. So being in here, so that's why I stay a little bit inside my head. Uh, and then when it's fight day, there is that 1 hour when you're a bit nervous before the fight, and when it's time to go, it's time to go. There is no traditions or something. You just go out there and try to do your best to win the fight.
Brother, you've had loads of fights, and out of all those fights, is there any fight that has been the most rewarding? It could be some sort of adversity you overcame, or you had to cut a lot of weight, or you had an injury. Is there any sort of fight that you could share with us that you really enjoyed?
Is every fight. I think every MMA athlete is going to the fight with injuries. You know, there is no like. That's the hard way. Is like you should feel super good if you go to the fight without any injury. That'd be awesome. So I wish one day it's gonna happen with me. You know, but yeah, I got a couple of fights. I really enjoyed the show. World Combat Fighting Championship. I fight for the world title professional with Kenneth Richardson's, or I can't remember, something like this. Kenneth Richardson's, I think was, and I fight in the main event. So that was my first pro main event. So and then in Manchester, and the Arena BEC, yeah, I think is Arena in Manchester. So that was sold out, pretty good, like full crowded. And yeah, that like emotions was awesome. My fans was about nearly 150 or 160, and plus Kenneth Richardson bring loads of fans. So the atmosphere and everything is still stick in my head. When you're walking out, everybody is against you because the Manchester people is a lot more, and you just go out there and silence the crowd in the first round. So that was pretty cool in my professional career. Yeah.
Well, I did a podcast with Kenneth Richardson, and sorry, I did a podcast with Kenneth Richardson, and he talked about that fight, brother, that you just mentioned. Yeah, he did.
Obviously, Cagewarriors debut was good as well, so I love that one. You know, first time First time you're on a big promotion, so people come in, TVs and different kind of organization and all managing all around you, and that was cool. And get the win on the big show as well in the first fight, so it was good.
Cagewarriors another level now, aren't they? In the UK or in Europe, they're doing really well, aren't they?
So is it good as well? Like Bellator Europe probably is the closest one, but because of Cagewarriors is one of the oldest promotions in Europe, so it's just cool to fight there. It's like I say, no easy fights over there. No pick and choose who you're gonna fight. You're not fighting journeymans. Every fight you go out and is all like basically do or die.
So, brother, out of all the fights that you've had on your martial arts journey, is there any regrets or anything that you would do different if you could turn back the hands of time?
No, one thing I know is my MMA journey. Losing is part of life journey. You're losing lots of things in your life, so losing a fight is not a big deal. You just need is how you deal with your mindset, how you prepare for your next bout. Is not like I say, we people we're losing a lot in lives, and if you every time you lose and you regretting, is you're gonna probably go to I don't know some how you say mental breakdown. So for me, I don't regret nothing. Losing is part of the game. There is some fights where I take on a short notice when people pull out. You get ready for some fighter with totally different style, and then the guy pull out and they offer somebody else. Maybe I should say no, not fighting. Maybe, but no, I always say yes. My mindset is different. You fight everyone. You fight always. If you choose, like if I say I'm fighting next Friday, Jack Grant can pull out. I will fight any another man. So it's just I love it. Martial arts is a journey, and I love it. I love the journey. I love the even when you lose, I love see the people who straight away cut it off. Like you got too much people around you when you're winning, but how much people stay around when you're losing? That's most important people in your life. So that's what I'm enjoying, and I'm enjoying my life, enjoying my family, enjoying training, and I just can't wait to fight. And that's all about.
It's interesting when you said about, when you lose, it depends who's around you, because I remember a picture of Angelo Dundee, and underneath it says, it's not the people that you need to look at in your dressing room when you win, it's the people you need to look at in your dressing room when you've lost, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I did like, what's his name, who just lost to Michael Chandler. What his name was? Whatever. But he say basically, you don't need to listen critics from the people where you don't go ask for advice. So that's a little bit deep stuck with me, like that's the main thing. You're not gonna go ask all them 100 people advice anyway. You can listen, they can write any critics they want. I'm here by myself, and the closest friends always will be with me. You win, lose, family, friends who is with me, they always will be with me. So I'm pretty good with that.
You're lucky enough that you're fighting at a premiership level on Cagewarriors. If there's other fighters from amateur that want to go to the professional ranks, from your knowledge and experience, what information would you cascade down to them?
So the main thing is I'm training only now. I do martial arts 9 years only. 3 and a half years I did boxing and kickboxing, and then when I moved to the MMA, I understand only, like I say, and that's why I'm very thankful for the James Bateman coaching and teaching. Only with the hard work you can do everything. It's all about you. Turn up every day, work hard, and the results will come. And nothing, they will come. Even if you begin in amateur ranks, you're losing. But if you keep doing the same thing constantly, working hard, turn up to the sessions, and give your all, I promise you, one day you will be successful. And I think I'm pretty successful with the things what I'm doing already. So.
Brother Madars, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. And I look forward to having both you and Jack Grant on the podcast once you've had your fight, my friend.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to be on the show again.